coverage, and information as we continue to do what we do best, linking people and government.
You're watching the ZNS Network, the People's Station.
Coming up in the news, the Hayward family is ready to sell a portion of its interest in the GBPA. Plus, the Disaster Reconstruction Authority reports a delay in construction of the Abaco shelter. And the Bahamas Psychological Association organizes a one-day first aid training workshop. The Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, starts now.
This is the Bahamas Tonight, Northern Edition.
This is the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. Good evening, all. I'm Simone Davis. Thank you so much for watching. Topping news tonight, an executive at the Grand Bahama Port Authority, Rupert Hayward, has come forward to announce his family's intention to sell a percentage of their 50% ownership stake in the GBPA. This decision comes as part of their commitment to supporting the rejuvenation efforts in Freeport. Here's that report. In a candid interview with our ZNS News team, GBPA executive Rupert Hayward disclosed that the Hayward and St. George families currently hold a 50% equity stake each in the company. However, the Hayward family only acquired this ownership back in 2020 after more than a decade without any shares in the company. He says their decision to sell a portion of their ownership is driven by the importance of attracting credible companies that can bring in the necessary investments to boost the city's economy. According to him, prioritizing the city's improvement outweighs the desire for power and authority.
My family's view is that Freeport Port Authority is bigger than two families. You know, it has to be. And, you know, for the benefit of finding the solution that takes this island to the next level, would we consider selling something down at the right price with the right partners who have the right reputation, the balance sheets, the capabilities and experience to deliver on large-scale sustainable development and on large-scale urban revitalization and master planning to help us build the blue and green economies, to create a sustainable infrastructure template so that this island is protected from storms? Absolutely.
Last week in Parliament, the Prime Minister expressed concerns regarding the GBPA's non-compliance with the Hawksbill Creek Agreement and called for decisive action. While Hayward believes the GBPA has been compliant, he does agree that prompt measures need to be taken. He acknowledges the need for the government's assistance in updating the agreement for various reasons.
The Prime Minister talks about decisive action. And he's right. And he talks about, you know, an HGA that's not fit for purpose. And he's right. And we've said that to PM. We've said, PM, we need to change it. We need to update it. We agree with you. We need to do it now. We need to be decisive. Let's get this done. Let's work together to do it. But let's not fight. Well, you have to repeal the EPPA Act that gives government jurisdiction here. You have to update the bylaws, which gives us the ability to change the city. You know, we need to have this one-stop shop. You know, we need to make sure that when a foreign direct investor comes here, we can give them all that we need in a specified time frame.
Although Hayward did not disclose the names of potential buyers, he confirmed that there are several companies the family is considering for the potential sale.
We have identified world-class partners who bring the relevant skill sets and balance sheets and reputation. And I think government need to be part of that too, absolutely.
As the grandson of GBPA co-founder Sir Jack Hayward, Rupert Hayward was asked about his hopes for the future of Grand Bahama. He expressed,
I'm a fighter. And, you know, when you believe in something, when you care deeply about something, and when you love your community, which I do, you fight. And I will never stop fighting for Grand Bahama to make sure we get, you know, the right model and the right framework and the right future in place. 'Place, 'for everyone in Grand Bahama, for all stakeholders.
'Cause 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 The Prime Minister's statements regarding the Grand Bahama Port Authority and the Hawksbill Creek Agreement have generated significant interest and raised questions about the necessary actions to be taken. Tonight, a former executive of the GBPA joins the conversation, sharing his insight on the matter and offering perspectives on the way forward. Rumiko Knowles has this.
There is not necessarily a need to have a GBPA in order to have a Hawksbill Creek agreement.
In the budget communication, the Prime Minister stated that the prolonged decline of Grand Bahama's economy confirms their view that the Hawksbill Creek economic model does not work. However, former GBPA executive Dylan Knowles advocates for the importance of the Hawksbill Creek agreement in Grand Bahama's growth and development, but he distinguishes it from the Grand Bahama Port Authority. Here's why.
Hawksbill Creek agreement provides for the regulatory responsibilities of the Grand Bahama Port Authority to be transferred to a quote-unquote local authority at the agreement of the Port Authority and its licensees.
Conflicting ownership and management between the Port Group Limited and various municipal providers have created inherent tensions in regulating the subsidiaries, leading to calls for termination of the Hawksbill Creek Agreement. However, Knowles argues against this approach, deeming it as a misguided desire.
In my opinion, the GBPA administers and regulates the city of Freeport-LaCaya 1,000 times better than the government does.
Knowles suggests a negotiation process to transfer ownership of the Grand Bahama Port Authority Limited from its current shareholders to a trust that would represent the people of Grand Bahama. This proposed solution involves a board comprising representatives from the government, local government licensees, and the Port Group Limited.
That way, every stakeholder has a say in what GBPA, the regulator, does and doesn't do.
He says the Prime Minister stating that it is time for decisive action highlights years of conflict between governments and the Port Authority.
Grand Bahama Island can become the first true local government island if the government had the wherewithal to convert the GBPA Limited into a true local government entity, truly run by the people of Grand Bahama for the people of Grand Bahama.
Well, in other news, a disaster reconstruction authority official touching down on Grand Bahama and gives our Raven Davis an update on the Abaco Hurricane Shelter and Community Center that was started nearly 3 years ago. Here's that report.
The Abaco Hurricane Shelter and Community Center, which was set to be completed this summer, will be delayed. That according to Disaster Reconstruction Authority Chairman Alex Storr. The project was started by the Minnis administration 1 year after Hurricane Dorian battered Abaco, but was reportedly revamped due to issues with its design.
We have a contractor who's in place, he's working, but we came across some issues with the foundation. Those are being resolved, but it will cause some delays, but we hope to have it finished before the end of the year.
When pressed for a figure concerning the total cost of the project, Storr was not able to comment, citing ongoing challenges that would affect the end cost. He says, however, once finished, it will boast of several key features.
The shelter will have full kitchen, it has cots and living areas for persons, it'll have an emergency management situation room with all the latest electronics. It'll also be disabled friendly. That's one of the things we had to change the design, because when we came in, the design wasn't disabled friendly. We realized that with the way the country's going and trying to encompass everybody and make sure it's useful as possible, we had to change that design in that aspect.
He adds that the Shelter and Community Center will be able to accommodate around 200 persons, but is merely the first of a number of planned shelters that will be erected around the country.
It's the first of planned shelters throughout the country, because we realize now that with these superstorms, we have to take it to the phase where we have dedicated shelters, not just school buildings and churches that we rush together to use as a shelter. And so we start in Abaco, and hopefully shelters will be popping up all around the country within the next few years.
Now, with the 2023 Atlantic hurricane season already upon us, the DRA chairman also taking the time to assure residents in Abaco and Grand Bahama that on the home repairs front, progress is being made.
We are doing more. We are actually in Grand Bahama today, in Abaco next week, signing some of the contracts for home repairs. We're trying to get as many houses repaired and prepared for the storm for hurricane season, which began a couple of days ago.
He says the DRA is partnering with the major NGOs to bring relief to persons in Abaco, and a further announcement will be made shortly. For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Raven Davis.
Thanks, Raven. Well, members of various government agencies convening at the Grand Bahama Resilience Center Monday morning to receive training on the principles of psychological first aid in preparation for the hurricane season. Here's Raven Davis.
Days into the 2023 Atlantic hurricane season, the Bahamas Psychological Association is hosting a timely one-day first aid training workshop at the Grand Bahama Resilience Center. According to BPA coordinator Dr. Gregory Swan, at the start of every hurricane season, the organization works with government to be part of the preparedness program that helps agencies build a member team that can provide psychological services intervention.
So today's program is designed to train members from the various first responding government agency, police, customs, immigration, defense force, to RAN psychological services, school psychological services, to Grand Bahama Christian Council, and a number of other agencies with psychological first aid response. And really what that is those on the front line who are out in the field, helping recognize when there's signs and symptoms amongst themselves and co-workers that we may need to address. It also includes a train-the-trainer component, whereby we would have members from around Grand Bahama who can then continue to provide training for their various agencies.
Dr. Schwann says following Hurricane Dorian, stress-related issues in the government sector went up by some 25 to 30%, affecting persons' abilities to function in their work and personal lives. That is why this workshop is designed to help them with proper self-management.
Is to give officers what we call first-line skill sets. Skill sets meaning that how do I early warning signs? How do I recognize stress management, stress issues in myself? How do I recognize stress issues in my co-workers? And what are the chain of response?
DRA Chairman Alex Storr bringing remarks on behalf of the Minister of State, the Honorable Miles LaRota. He says such workshops are an essential component in the fight for greater attention to be paid to psychological and mental health during disaster preparedness.
Not only those who went through Dorian, but the first responders and those that came in afterwards and had to deal with the death and the carnage. We need to take our mental health seriously, especially when we must go on and then deal with the next storm.
The workshop involved some 40 to 45 persons, but Dr. Dietra Bethel says BPA intends to canvass the entire country to expand this type of training.
So we want to get as many persons to train as possible. And the reality is, if persons feel supported, if persons have the tools necessary, then they are more likely to get through a crisis.
For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Raven Davis.
Union leaders spent the day worshiping at Living Waters Assemblies of God this past Sunday to cap off a busy Labor Day weekend. While honoring various union members for their contributions, Senator Kirk Russell reminding everyone about the role unions have played over the years in moving the country forward.
Burma Road riot onto the 58 general strike that truly stimulated the movement to move into majority rule. And you talk about Black Tuesday, you talk about the woman suffrage movement, and then moving into the 1967 election that won us majority rule. You talk about the old age pension, when you talk about the establishment of the Court of Appeal. You talk about preserving land, reserving our land for Bahamians, for farmers. Talking about the establishment of the labor board, and so much more. It is on the backs of the unions that this country and workers, that this country has moved progressively forward.
While Vice President of the BCPOU, Charles Ellis, stressed the importance of spirituality as leaders of unions, President of BACOWU, Sandra Major, says it is important to work closer with younger union members to ensure a seamless transition to the future.
We need godly leaders. The wisdom and the knowledge, understanding of God's light to come to us, to come through us, and a deeper level of commitment we will have with great expectations. Our eyes of understanding should never be clouded to the cries and the crisis of what's going on in the Bahamas. It's the contrast that's made between God, between us, and between our members.
I am not going to die with the baton in my hand. I am not. I will not. So I say to all of you, the ones who will be honored, thank you so much for your service. Thank you, because we cannot do it without you.
Switching gears now, an elderly woman and a man are lucky to be alive following a traffic mishap unfolding at the intersection of East Mall Drive and West Atlantic Drive Tuesday afternoon. The woman, the sole occupant of a Nissan Jeep, walked away unharmed, while the man, visibly hurt, was nonverbal as he clenched the wheel of his Toyota Corolla. EMS officials, officers from the fire department, and RBPF Mobile Division had to comb through nearby bushes to assist the man, whose vehicle ran off the street. The scene arousing the curiosity of passerbys who sought to assist the victims. Both drivers were subsequently transported to hospital for an assessment of their injuries. Further details are unknown at this time. There's more news when we come back. Stay with us.
You asked for it, you've got it. A new plant nursery, fully loaded with everything you need and extended hours. Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. and Saturdays, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m.
Esquire is celebrating Father's Day in grand style. Shop June 1st to 17th and be eligible to win a $1,000 shopping spree. Save 15% off store-wide from June 12th to 17th. Happy Father's Day from Esquire.
The Grand Bahama Independence Committee Road to 50 Independence celebrations continues Friday, June 9th with the Road to 50 party cruise on board Maxis. Boat leaves Port Lucaya 7 p.m. sharp. Tickets are $50. For more information, call 727-2692.
Meet David Ferguson.
So the Bible Marines was complimentary because several things. It was formative in that it allowed me to think critically as to how I study best. This is supposed to be an intellectual experience that you enjoy. Yes, it's a competition, but when you look back at it, you don't want to be so focused on the competitive aspect of this that you miss the intellectual engagement, stimulation, and development that you can gain from this. This should give you a skill or help you learn more about yourself so that you take that with you as you progress in your career and start your university studies.
Your #1 news team covering the North. The Bahamas Tonight, Northern Edition.
Welcome back. Well, the Ministry of Youth, Sports and Culture Summer Employment Program for high schoolers and college students is set to return this month. The Summer Employment Program allows youngsters around the country to generate salaries through various government departments and other businesses over the course of the summer.
I think nearly 400 or 500 applications. And we're going to try to see how many of those that the ministry is going to allow us to hire between the Ministry of Youth, between the three departments, sports, youth, and culture. See how many of those we'll be able to hire. From the sports perspective, we're going to partner with a couple of satellite camps and send some of the summer students to be participants in those camps as coordinators and also as facilitators for those camps to help some people out with their camp, and we will be responsible for paying those persons. And then some of the satellite camps, we're just going to partner with them and give them a grant.
Deputy Director of Sports in the Northern Bahamas and coordinator for the Summer Employment Program, Norris Bain, says this week will be the final week for persons of interest to apply for the program.
Deadline for application is June 9th. for that particular program. So if they come in and get the form right here from the Grand Bahama Sports Complex, we'll gladly entertain those persons, because we want to have the college students interning in their fields, the area that they want to go into, so they can get on-the-job experience.
Well, entrepreneurs play a big role in the economy. The Small Business Development Center, Access Accelerator, and the U.S. Embassy believe just that and are empowering women to go even further in the field. Shane Stubbs reports.
Small Business Development Center, Access Accelerator, in tandem with the U.S. Embassy in New Providence, are continuing to empower business-minded women around the country. Hosting the Power Her branch as a networking platform, Corporate Communications Manager Michaela Munnings says they have taken big steps in doing just that.
A part of the Women Entrepreneurs Initiative, we also had a standalone grant, and in just a few weeks we will see how many women, not only from New Providence and the other family islands, but how many women from Grand Bahama was able to successfully receive that $10,000 grant.
According to SBDC Executive Director Samantha Roll, female-owned businesses make up 49% of those approved for funding, while requesting $28.7 million at a 92% approval rate. With choice of industry playing a role in those numbers, she says it's time for women to act on the theme, getting comfortable with being uncomfortable.
It is recommended that more women entrepreneurs venture out into industries that may be seemingly male-dominated, like construction, fishing, technology. But the important thing is for women to request more, because you deserve more. You are approved at a much higher rate.
Given the success rate of the Academy for Women's Entrepreneurs, public engagement specialist for the U.S. Embassy, Lisa Moxie, says the U.S. government remains committed to the empowerment of women.
Vice President Kamala Harris spoke at the Summit of Americas saying, when you lift up the economic status of women, you lift up the economic status of families, of their community, and of our entire hemisphere. She added, when women succeed, all of society benefits. We know empowering women economically is not only about giving them a job, it's about improving their quality of life.
And adding that entrepreneurship is the backbone of the economy, the Minister for Grand Bahama, the Honorable Ginger Moxie, had high praises for the SBTC and U.S. Embassy's partnership to empower female entrepreneurs.
I see the work that you've been doing in partnership with SBDC, and I stand in awe of the women you've mentored since the program's inception.
For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Shane Stubbs.
Thanks, Shane. Your check on sports is next with Jay Philippe.
Good evening, I'm Jay Philippe, and welcome to sports. I have a whole lot of good news for you in sports, primary school soccer, cycling, but let's begin with some great news as it relates to sports right here on Grand Bahama. During the budget debate, the Prime Minister of the Bahamas, the Honorable Philip Brave Davis, announced the government's plan to construct a 50-meter pool here on Grand Bahama.
We're still in the preliminary stages of all of the dynamics of the pool and exactly where it's going to go, who's going to construct it, and those decisions will be made by the Cabinet of the Bahamas in terms of all of that. But we're in the stage now where we want to try to make sure that everything on this facility goes in a strategic place. We don't just want to be dropping things on the complex. We want it to make sense so that the people of Grand Bahama can truly enjoy it. And in this particular case, the swimmers can finally have a really good place that they can practice and get ready for international competition.
Switching gears now in sports, the Bahamas Cycling Championships wrapped up on the weekend with its road race on Sunday and the time trials on Saturday.
We are so grateful to our president and to the entire federation who saw fit, first of all, to allow us now to become the main host for cycling in the Bahamas. And for us here in the North and Grand Bahama, that is a great undertaking and certainly a great opportunity for us to showcase what we are able to do to hosting major events such as this, the Nationals.
We've had two exciting days racing,
all the islands represented, right down here in Grand Bahama, and we had a lot of islands that were crowned. This is a precursor for the Bahama Games in July.
And finally in sports, Martintown Primary defeated Hugh Campbell in primary school girls soccer play 1-0.
The first game that they played, I was a little scared because they were actually fumbling with the ball, and everyone was getting together and just bouncing, coming together with the ball, no one getting out of each other's way. But actually on this one, they learned what to do and they played it.
Walter Parker got the win over Tabernacle 2-0. Now in boys action, Hugh Campbell won against Martintown 2-1. Maurice Moore defeated Hugh Campbell 1-0. Freeport Primary over Walter Parker 4-0. And Mary Star Blessy defeated Freeport Primary 2-0. And that's a quick check on sports, ladies and gents. I'm Jay Philippe. Be blessed.
Father's Day is June 18th. Treat Dad to a full buffet brunch in the Grand Lucayan Hotel Ballroom. Brunch is from noon until 4 p.m. Tickets may be purchased at the lobby or call 373-1333 for more information.
And culture, we can straight choke canoe, fishing and sailing, just to name a few, free from bondage. That was our heritage. Our nation isn't perfect, there is more work to be done. Forward, upward, and onward towards the rising sun. Yes, we should be proud. It's time to say it loud. Oh, drop your flag, wave it from side to side. Our gold and black represents your pride. Lift your head and say, I'm a Bahamian.
The Grand Bahama Independence Committee Road to 50 Independence celebrations continues Friday, June 9th with the Road to 50 party cruise on board Maxis. Boat leaves Port Lucaia 7 p.m. sharp. Tickets are $50. For more information, call 727-2692.
Good day, good evening, and good vibes to my Power Nation. I hope you guys are doing so good. You know you got it locked in with the one and only Angel M, baby.
What you doing in the sky, gal?
Listening to Power 104.5 FM.
You still listening to the show, gal?
Yes, Angel M still on.
Gal, bitch, a perfect. Yeah, trouble when she turn it. Need your service. We'll slide hot like a furnace. Hey, gal, what you doing to me? Doing to me? Gal, what you doing to me? Doing to me?
Tune into Good Vibes with Angel M from 2 to 6 on Power 104.5 FM.
Your #1 news team covering the North. The Bahamas Tonight, Northern Edition.
Colette Williams, you are our Facebook friend of the day, and we want to wish you a special happy birthday from the team here in the North. We hope you do enjoy. And that's going to do it for us here in the North. On behalf of the entire ZNS News team, I'm Simone Davis, but be sure to stay tuned as the Bahamas Tonight continues.
The thought of colon cancer never really crossed my mind until 2019, when a very good friend of mine was diagnosed with stage 4 colon cancer. I was shocked. Everybody was shocked because he was a picture of perfect health. He was young, athletic, successful, and full of life. Many of us are still in disbelief. I started to question my own health because if it happened to him, surely it could happen to me. Then came the fear, the anxiety, and everything else in between. Facing your own mortality is very sobering. But for me, I decided right then to have a colonoscopy, and I'm glad I did.
Colon cancer is the third most common cancer diagnosed in Bahamian men and women. Fortunately, almost all colon cancers are preventable. A colonoscopy or some other appropriate form of colon cancer screening is recommended for everyone over the age of 45. During a colonoscopy, we can detect and remove colon polyps that may grow and later become colon cancers. Don't wait until you develop symptoms, such as blood in your stool, abdominal pain, a significant change in your bowel habits, or unintentional weight loss. These may all be indications of a severe problem that requires immediate attention. If you're over the age of 45 or have any of those symptoms, talk to your doctor about the benefits of colon cancer screening today.
Up in the Bahamas tonight, the national report, oil production slashed. No to sugar tax. Red Cross societies unite. And in sports, BAA's announces senior nationals. The Bahamas tonight, the national report starts now.
ZNS News is linked up by BTC. Whether it's chatting, gaming, content creating, or working smart to get things done, link up to stay connected with BTC.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Makush Lapinder, and this is the Bahamas Tonight, the National Report. Thanks for tuning in. Well, as foreshadowed, the national insurance rate will increase. Just not now. Prime Minister the Honorable Philip Davis announcing in a statement just this evening that the increase will not occur in the upcoming fiscal year, but rather on the 1st of July 2024. The Prime Minister references the global inflation crisis having a significant strain on household finances for many Bahamians as the reason behind his government's decision not to impose any additional burden at this time. He did express hope, though, that a full year's advance notice will allow all impacted the time to plan to accommodate the increase. For its part, the government is expected to use the year to implement significant reform at NIB. According to the Prime Minister, that calls for making its system more efficient and more user-friendly. Officials will also continue to scrutinize claims to prevent fraudulent activities and ensure that those who contribute are the ones who benefit. The end goal, says the Prime Minister, is to not merely ensure the longevity of the social safety net, but create a system that truly serves its purpose, and that's to support Bahamians when they need it most. And to those who worry that a delay will make the eventual increase larger, he assures that this will not be the case. Well, in other news, this evening, global oil prices already on the rise after one of the world's biggest oil producers announced that it is again placing limits on production. Cleopatra Murphy has the details of the implications for the Bahamas.
Saudi Arabia's latest move to slash oil production by 1 million barrels per day by July 1st could lead to an increase at the pumps for Bahamians. Minister of Economic Affairs Senator the Honorable Michael Alcides, however, is hopeful it will not happen, but says it is contingent on several factors.
There is a cartel of producers, so we have to see if other countries within that cartel increase their production to ramp up. To make up that difference. Also, we have to look at the fact that what's happening in terms of the world economy. If it's slowing, for example, if China is not growing as fast as it has been traditionally, then that will affect their demand. So it will be a formulation of what other countries do and how the global economy is performing and, what the demand is for fuel.
Other Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries, OPEC, have already decided to continue oil production cuts until 2024 after slashing production by 2 million barrels per day last October, then 2% of global demand, only to make cuts again in April that were set to expire by year's end. Vice President of the Petroleum Retailers Association, Vasco Bastian, anticipates reduced production will lead to a hike in fuel cost at home, but not immediately.
We might have had oil in waiting, for example, that we would have bought probably a month ago, a month and a half ago. So that might not affect us right away. So that might not affect us until, say, mid-July or early August, because gas prices and gas purchases are always bought on the futures market. So what you tend to do is when the price of oil is like, say, $80 a barrel or $60 a barrel, and they see it might drop or it might go higher, big countries and buyers around the world will say lock in a price when it's at $70 a barrel.
The Petroleum Retailers Association continues to appeal to government for a margin hike, now asking for a 30-cent increase due to the rising cost of doing business. Asked whether the potential rise in fuel prices could impact discussions with the petroleum retailers, Halkitis said this.
We take all of these things into account. As I have said, our view is always, what happens at the end of the day at the pump. And if you see, if the impact of this cut in production is an increase in price, then again you can see, the reluctance of government to do something to add to any increase that might come from a cut in production. So, we'll watch it and we'll monitor it.
As of Tuesday, the cost of fuel per gallon was $5.85 at Shell, $5.74 at Esso, and $5.95 at Rubis. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Cleopatra Murphy.
Well, amid efforts to adopt a more aggressive approach to collecting taxes from big businesses and foreigners, Economic Affairs Minister Senator the Honourable Michael Akita says confiscating land from those who fail to comply is a possibility.
Prime Minister and Minister of Finance, the Honourable Philip Davis, will on Wednesday go into more detail on what the 2023-2024 budget will bring and how the government anticipates reaching those targets, boosting revenue while shaving down expenditure, the national debt and deficit. Between July 2022 and March 2023, revenue...
You go anywhere from... You send out a bill and, you want people to pay, then you do some follow-ups, and then, as the delinquency increases to months and years, then your powers, the powers that you exercise increase. And so we have the department has the power to, go as far as, if it comes to that, especially, as I said last week, Thursday, when we were talking about foreign-owned properties, vacant land, and those things, where delinquencies are stretching into the years and all other efforts to collect have been exhausted, then you have to be able to exercise that power of sale, which is in the law, which has been done in the past, which you don't want to do. But, when you have such sometimes stubborn delinquencies, you have to, sometimes that's what you have to do.
Well, meantime, a framework's been put in place to determine whether to go with a sugar tax. But according to Prime Minister the Honourable Philip Davis, that's a no-go at this point.
We're talking with the industry to see how they're able to lessen sugar in the ingredients of which for sodas, etc. And because the stats have shown that it is one of the significant contributors to non-communicable diseases, something that this country is struggling with as I speak. And so no, that is not going to be done this year, and I don't see it coming very soon either.
Now, those comments in the face of what a 2019 STEP survey recently revealed. Research found that poor lifestyle choices, that is physical inactivity, tobacco, alcohol use, and unhealthy diets are fueling the non-communicable disease epidemic, and the Bahamas is no exception to heading in the wrong direction. Data shows that Bahamians are consuming too little fiber and, by contrast, too much sugar and salt. According to that survey, some 60% of the population drink at least 2 cans or bottles of sugary beverages each day, and that's only compounded by the practice of adding sugar to tea and or coffee. On average, Bahamians consume double that. That's 10.5 grams of salt. The daily amount recommended is 5 grams. Agricultural challenges here in the Bahamas to dominate tomorrow's program at the 34th Annual Agriculture Economic Society Conference at Super Club's Breezes Resort, Cable Beach. Delegates got some food for thought from the Prime Minister as he officially opened the event last evening. Altavis Munnings has more.
The Bahamas was the perfect fit for the Caribbean Agroeconomic Society to hold its biannual conference this year. The goal? To discuss and brainstorm issues pertaining to agriculture, marine science, and climate change.
Look forward to a close relationship between BAMC and the university, and they have told me that they look forward to even a closer working relationship between the two institutions.
Solutions to food security challenges across the region is of paramount importance to this group. Agriculture, Marine Resources and Family Island Affairs Minister, the Honorable Clay Sweeting, implored delegates to address this challenge to avoid future generations from enduring this burden.
We can increase our food production capacities and create trade and economic partnerships that can expand opportunities for our people. It is through this conference that we can build on this progress and find more ways to encourage entrepreneurship and innovation that will assist greatly in producing sustainable food systems in our region.
Prime Minister the Honorable Philip Davis touted the Bahamas and its unique geographical location and vulnerability to climate change in providing a compelling backdrop for discussing the sustainability impacts our region faces.
Agriculture plays in our nation's economic growth and the well-being of our people. The government has implemented strategic policies and initiatives to support the agricultural sector with its focus on sustainable practices, technological advancements, and capacity building. The government is dedicated to fostering an environment that encourages entrepreneurship, investment, and the adoption of innovative approaches. This commitment underscores our vision for a resilient, self-sufficient, and prosperous Bahamas.
The 34th Annual Agriculture Economics Society Conference under the theme Emerging Challenges and Opportunities for Food Systems, Climate Change and Tourism Nexus ends this Friday at Super Clubs Breezes. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Altaviz Munnings.
Climate resilience also on the minds of tourism stakeholders across the region. In fact, Caribbean Tourism Organization Chairman and the Cayman Islands Minister of Tourism and Ports, the Honorable Kenneth Bryan, encouraged the Caribbean to confront the significant effects posed by global climate change and its related impacts like droughts, heat waves, and sea level rise.
Even more importantly, it warrants being proactive and being willing to take the necessary actions to increase the resilience of our destinations and, by extension, our tourism sector through actions such as infrastructure improvements, investments in early warning systems, engaging in joint advocacy, effective communication and media management before and after times of crisis, and an education and awareness for visitors and residents alike, all underpinned by a robust digitally technology and information communication systems.
Well, meantime, Environment Minister, the Honorable Vaughn Miller, sounding the alarm for Bahamians to continue to advocate for the protection of vulnerable areas as significant damage from recent hurricanes like Matthew and Dorian have left most in a state of recovery. Miller is appealing to Bahamians to continue fighting to protect the country for future generations.
It's believed that we have the largest seagrass beds in the world, okay? And so that's great for us. In terms of our mangroves, we have the largest mangrove nursery system in the Caribbean and the Western world. Now, we are also in the direct path of hurricanes. So they call it, where we are located, the hurricane zone or hurricane alley. It affected some 40% of our mangroves in the Abaco area, and maybe up to 60 to 70% of the mangrove in Grand Bahama. But in terms of in the age and the dispensation of carbon credits and what they mean for us, our wetlands critically important, our forests critically important. Again, the forests in northern Abaco, forests in eastern Grand Bahama during Dorian, devastated. And so reforestation is about to begin to occur in those areas.
You're watching the Bahamas Tonight, the National Report. There's more news in a moment.
This portion of the news was brought to you by Sun Oil Limited Shell, fueling journeys that matter.
We are a leading Bahamian bank, one of the largest publicly traded companies on BISX. Our measure of strength is our growth and performance, with over $1.7 billion in assets. We remain committed to serving the interests of our shareholders, staff, clients, and communities. The confidence to lead, the performance to remain. We are Commonwealth Bank, leader in personal banking services.
We just got the new fiber internet speed bump. Now my internet so fast I can watch 2 4K movies, play video games, and browse on my computer at the same time. Yeah, my internet so fast I could download a whole season of shows before my noodles run cooking. Mine so fast when I go to church online, service actually over early. Mine so fast when I'm working from home, 5 o'clock, come before 3. Sound like you got this BTC fiber internet speed bump like me. When it's so fast, I had to have it.
Current fiber internet bundle customers now have as much as 3 times the speed. Totally free. Link up with BTC.
Just when Leo was about to buy this useless pair of Hands underwear, he remembered that it was Tuesday. Hungry for deals? You better come satisfy it at KFC before doing something crazy. Crazy Tuesdays! 5 juicy, mouth-watering pieces of world-famous KFC chicken, handmade with a secret blend of 11 herbs and spices for only $10. Crazy Tuesdays! A finger-licking good deal.
Mario thought he could have his cake and eat it too. He almost found out the hard way that if you don't insure your home for the full replacement value, when it comes time to make a claim, you won't get the full payout. It's called the condition of average. If your $200,000 home is destroyed by a hurricane, but you only insured it for $100,000, half the value, you'll only get half of that $100,000 payout. Actually, less than that, because there's also a deductible which will be deducted from your payout. Check your home insurance policy for the condition of average clause and ask your insurance agent or broker how condition of average would affect you. This message was brought to you by the Insurance Commission of the Bahamas, protecting the interests of policyholders.
Trouble, it might drag you down. If you get lost, you can always be found. Just know you're not alone. 'Cause I'm gonna make this place your home.
One tragedy after another for the region's most impoverished nation. This morning, a 4.9 magnitude earthquake hit Haiti and killed at least 4 people and injured 36 others. Haiti's Civil Protection Agency reports that 2 homes collapsed in the quake and a key route that connects Jeremy and Lake High was blocked. The Associated Press reports that Tuesday's earthquake comes as Haiti struggles to recover from heavy floods over the weekend that killed at least 51 people, injured 140, and flooded nearly 31,600 homes. Prime Minister Ariel Henry has requested international assistance. This latest natural disaster strikes nearly 2 years after a 7.2 magnitude earthquake struck southern Haiti and killed more than 2,200 people, and the 2010 quake that killed more than 300,000. A Bahamas Air experiences a flight interruption. According to the National Fly Carrier's Deputy Managing Director, Prince Dorr, today's scheduled flight to Cap-Haitien, Haiti returned to Nassau mid-flight due to complaints of an unresponsive passenger. We're told emergency medical technicians, along with law enforcement officials, met the plane upon its landing in the capital. Bahamas Air officials then canceled the flight due to the incident. Now, while not much information is being shared on the passenger, sources tell us the individual allegedly died while in the air. An intense investigation into the matter is underway. In other news, the Court of Appeal has granted activist Lincoln Bain leave to appeal a decision upholding a Supreme Court order he repay monies relating to a failed investment deal. The court ruled that Bain and Banny Shoe Warehouse, a business partially owned by Bain, can appeal the court's decision in support of the Supreme Court's decision to the Privy Council. Although the appellant panel found the appeal meritless, it indicated that Bain has the right to appeal to the Privy Council in London. Economic Affairs Minister Michael Halkitis insisting everything was done above board when it comes to the new rental space for the Consumer Protection commission. In fact, he denies owning the new space on Tonic William Starling Highway. His comments come amid criticism that the building did not go to tender and speculation that he was among several people who own it. Alquita says Tilly Burrows of Tolliver Enterprises owns the building, adding that the commission shared a space with the Ministry of Labor that needed its space.
We decided that they should have their own space. Consumer protection is a priority of this government. We wanted them to be in a standalone building by themselves. Labor needed their space for the Ministry of Labor, so we identified space. It went through all of the protocols in the Ministry of Public Service. It fits within all of the norms in terms of the price we pay, inclusive of CAM charges and retrofitting. All of that conforms with the policy of the Ministry of Public Service. There is nothing untoward. What we have is a disgruntled individual who has decided that he would make certain allegations. Boards, committees, ministries, departments do not decide where they want to go.
Now, Minister Alquita did not disclose how much the government is paying for the building, but says the entire space is being rented.
We pay per square foot. The government pays anywhere from, in some cases, I think, depending on the building, you can pay up from $25, and in some cases you pay up to $60. But you pay per square foot. So, we're renting the entire building. And just let me say, once again, the Ministry for the Public Service has policies, they have guidelines, they have procedures in terms of suitability, in terms of inspection, in terms of price. All right, there are individuals out there who, they go out and they just throw people's names around and allege certain things, without any evidence or and for their own reasons, they throw, because I understand several people's names were thrown around as owners of the building, totally without foundation. And I think it's one of those things in our politics that's really shameful, and it needs to stop.
Well, delegates from some 29 National Red Cross societies across the Americas are here in the Bahamas attending the 22nd Inter-American Conference at the Atlantis Convention Center. The initiative provides the opportunity for delegates to brainstorm and agree on commitments to guide their work in the months ahead. Fern Carey reports.
Over the next few days, delegates attending the Inter-American Conference here in the capital will be locked in talks focusing on their common humanitarian concerns and the challenges facing their organizations. Members of the Regional Red Cross Network will also be looking at ways to better highlight the role the Red Cross plays as an auxiliary to governments. During the opening ceremony Tuesday, the Vice President of the International Federation of the Red Cross and Red Crescent Societies also highlighted the critical role of the Global Red Cross Network.
We are committed today, once again, in the shared conviction about the transcendent work that our solidarity and humanitarian action represent for the development of the most vulnerable and disadvantaged communities on the continent.
Patron of the Bahamas Red Cross Society, Governor General His Excellency the Most Honorable Sir Cornelius Smith, cited the importance of preparedness in the face of natural disasters.
Our interconnected world, climate change, like pandemics, knows no national boundaries and unleashes its destructive force on all and sundry. Simply put, natural disasters have no respect for persons, boundaries, or countries.
Well, this conference also comes as the 2023 Atlantic hurricane season started just a few days ago, and delegates will be focusing on strengthening and building resiliency in their communities, among other issues.
In the Bahamas, we have an old saying that when there is an abundance of fruits, especially mangoes, then we will have a very wet hurricane season. While it has not been proven, we do have many mangoes in the Bahamas this year. And now already we have seen where the first storm, Arlene, recently formed. That aside, while Arlene was not a threat to land, it is a timely reminder of the need to be prepared at all times.
The Inter-American Conference comes to an end on June 8th at the Atlantis Resort. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Fern Carey.
The National Report returns in a moment. Stay with us.
This portion of the news is being brought to you by the 50th Independence Secretariat. Go to their website, celebrate-bahamas.com, or their Facebook page, Celebrate Bahamas, to see the schedule of exciting events.
Of the Bahamas. Fly away.
Spring is here and Easter is right around the corner. Thinking about moving forward with your personal goals that require money? Fidelity Bank can get you approved in no time without the red tape and the runaround. Fidelity offers competitive interest rates and minimal fees. The loan that you need and can afford is just a phone call away.
Vaccines protect those we love the most, our children and our grandchildren. I vaccinated my children to protect them. Getting your child immunized can protect them against diseases like polio, measles, whooping cough, and others. So protect your child today by getting them immunized. My grandchildren are vaccinated. You should do the same. Vaccinate your children and your grandchildren and make sure they are safe.
As we celebrate our 50th year of independence, let's move forward to protecting ourselves and each other from vaccine-preventable diseases, upward to achieving the highest vaccination rates in the region, and onward to a safer, healthier Bahamas. We can achieve this together. In New Providence, visit Ann's Town Clinic, Flamingo Gardens Clinic, Elizabeth Estate Clinic, or if you're in the Family Island, visit any of your routine vaccination clinics for vaccines. COVID-19 vaccines are also available.
With the help of our authorized financial institutions, or AFIs, using sand dollars is as easy as 1, 2, 3.
Step 1. Identify your preferred AFI by browsing their websites or contacting them directly. Step 2. Download the free mobile application from Google Play or the Apple Store and then register for a sand dollar account. Step 3. Load money onto your mobile app and begin sending and receiving sand dollars or purchasing and selling goods and services.
We are pleased to be
your central bank approved
digital wallet providers. It does not matter
which of us you choose.
You can pay for goods and services
wherever sand dollar is accepted.
We are all in this together.
Visit sanddollar.bs for more information.
I think you can try that new Chinny Chin cheeseburger with it yet, that way.
It's the Chick Chani burger.
Like, sure, it's a sweet chili churn cheeseburger or something like that.
They call it Jimmy Curry burger, but you know who Jimmy Curry is? You never had Jimmy Curry?
No.
Hi, good day. Welcome to my Wendy's.
Hi, good day. Come to try that new Chinny Chin cheeseburger with you on here.
And the Jimmy Cherry cheeseburger.
See, y'all need to tell you that's what it called.
You ain't say that. Yeah, that's what I want.
It's fresh, garlicky, and tangy. Wendy's new Chimichurri Cheeseburger.
Organizers of Kingdor National Parkinson Foundation are asking the public to reserve an evening with them. This is the organization's annual gala ball fast approaches. President of the foundation, Mavis Darling Hill, says the date is set for June 24th at the Atlantis Resort on Paradise Island. Darling Hill is encouraging the public's support for more than one reason.
There are persons who want to be a part, but the difficulty, it's more than just talking. is doing some things. And that's why we feel so necessary to do this gala ball that we have coming up. Somebody asked me, a friend of mine, say, why gala ball? Say, I can give you monies and, you can go on with it. But we feel that the gala ball is going to give us the opportunity to interface with persons in society who want to assist us with this cause.
Now, Darling Hill has first-hand knowledge of the disease itself as her father died of the disorder. She tells of the symptoms in an effort to educate persons and bring awareness to the condition described as progressive.
A debilitating condition, and it affects the memory system. That person's, the signs and symptoms are very, very common, but yet uncommon, in that you may see somebody and their hands are just going like mad, shaking. Their limbs are shaking, the legs, even in the face, you can see the face just moving. And so that's one of the first telltale signs of the illness. But there are others. There's a bradykinesia, the slowness of movement. So you see someone walking very, very slowly and almost afraid to make their steps because they feel that they're going to fall. And then there's the instability, where they're not feeling stable in their position walking or whatever they're doing. And then there's also a problem with persons with their speech. People to understand the illness and realize that it's nothing to be embarrassed about, ashamed of, because everybody has some issue. Persons with cancer 20 years ago, if you talk to them, they did not tell you exactly what was going on. Now, people are freer and understanding they didn't do anything wrong to really get this disease.
Well, as we head to the break, we'd like to thank all our viewers watching us live on our social media platforms. And just in case you missed the news, be sure to head there to catch up. Stay with us. There's more after the break.
On May 1st, 2012, Rubis acquired the Chevron fuel business in the Bahamas, which traded under the Texaco brand. We are now celebrating our 10th anniversary of the Rubis brand in the Bahamas. Rubis has become the fuel brand of choice. However, our 10-year journey was not without challenges. We would like to recognize our dedicated members of staff and thank our customers for their continued support. We look forward to another 10-year milestone as we continue our journey.
Secure the ones that you love. Join up with Family Guardian. We offer full protection. Join the family. Join the family. Family Guardian. Protect the ones you love. A friend that you can trust. Family Guardian. Good to grow. Keeping you in the know. Keeping you in the know. God, it's good enough to eat, then it's good to grow. It's good enough to eat, then it's good to grow.
The first ever Ministers' Cup race took place at the National Family Island Regatta in Exuma in April, where Deputy Prime Minister Chester Cooper sailed away with the top prize.
Madam Speaker, I stand on principle and honor as the visiting minister of Exuma. So it's only respectful of me to ensure that in this first challenge, the host member and the Minister of Tourism and Aviation, who supported the regatta, would emerge victorious.
Minister of Agriculture, Marine Resources and Family Island Affairs Clay Sweeting taking the opportunity to present Cooper with the first ever Ministers' Cup in the House of Assembly. Cooper mincing no words as he accepted his prize.
I wish to say thanks to my crew and I want to thank my fans. And I want to say thanks to the Almighty God. And I will defend my championship next year.
According to Cooper, the trophy will be a floating trophy, and he already has his eyes set on the #1 spot come next year.
The government has exemplified its commitment to the sport by naming sailing a national sport of the Bahamas in this Jubilee year. And we pledge a further commitment to educating our youth, advancing the boat building industry, and increasing the allocation to support sailing more holistically. I want to thank the sailors for their continued commitment. I want to thank my team at the ministry, my fellow colleagues, and Honorable Prime Minister for this bold initiative.
For Good to Grow, I'm Giorgio Bain.
Good enough to eat, then it's good to grow.
The atmosphere was electric as friends and families reconnected, creating cherished memories. Our young ones experienced pure joy in the dedicated Kids Cultural Zone, engaging in face painting, storytelling, and special games, bouncing castles galore and balloons for the fun of it. The Plat Lady, sharing the traditional skills of plaiting straw, was a particular hit, captivating children and adults alike. As a gesture of gratitude, the first 500 guests received commemorative independence gifts, serving as an enduring memento of this remarkable occasion. This festival exceeded all expectations, magnificently showcasing the unity and cultural richness of the Bahamas. We cannot forget the phenomenal music and art entertainment that was on display. It provided a precious opportunity for everyone to come together on our 50th anniversary of independence and embrace the vibrant spirit of our Bahamian identity.
Shell Unleaded improves your fuel economy, giving increased miles per gallon, allowing you to do more of what you really want. Special additives used in Shell Unleaded improve your engine's efficiency. So go further with Shell Unleaded. Venture out to beaches, Junkanoo, and festivals and bring home memories that will last a lifetime. Shell, fueling journeys that matter.
A flag-raising relay ceremony taking place today on Abaco, with officials set to replicate similar ceremonies nationwide leading up to the country's 50th independence. Our Lloyd Allen was on the ground.
Abaco residents converging at the Leonard Thompson International Airport Tuesday to take part in the Golden Jubilee flag-raising relay ceremony. Representing the National Independence Secretariat, Lindsay Thompson.
This is the second island on our Flag Jubilee Relay. We started out on May 21st, which is giving us 50 days to independence. We started out in Governor's Harbor, Eleuthera, and we are certainly pleased to be here in Marsh Harbor, Abaco.
Thompson says the goal is to mimic the ceremony across the country as July 10th approaches.
The flag that will be raised here this morning will be the same flag touching each island community, and also that flag will be raised July 10th, July 9th, bringing in our independence.
Also on hand was Member of Parliament for North Abaco, Kirk Cornish, and Central and South Abaco Member of Parliament, John Pinder.
As we raise the flag and sing our national anthem, let us, with a grateful heart, thank Almighty God for the many blessings He has bestowed upon us in our Bahama land. One people, united in love.
The Bahamas is half a century young. We're a proud nation. We're a strong nation. The resiliency of our people has been proven here in Abaco. But I want to give a special shout out to our most precious resource, our youth. Their strength physically and intellectually will take us to the next level and be the top country in this world.
Now, following that brief ceremony, members of the Royal Bahamas Police Force and Defense Force assisted in the hoisting of the flag, inspiring a new generation of Bahamians to build onward together. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Lloyd Allen.
Well, it's time now for a check on Family Island weather, and for that we turn to Chief Meteorologist Basil Dean. Good evening, Basil.
Good evening, Makisha. Today begin with a mixed bag of clouds and sunshine, but that has all changed. We now have cloudy skies, temperature at 83 degrees, relative humidity 74%, east-northeast winds at 8 miles per hour, the barometric pressure 1,012.6 millibars, is 29.90 inches, and the pressure is rising. Temperatures around the Family Islands this evening, they are brought to you by Family Guardian Insurance Company. We're protecting you. 82 degrees in Freeport, Grand Bahama, and Greenville, Key and Abaco, Marshall, Abaco at 80 degrees. 83 in the Berry Islands, Allenstown, Bimini, 82. 82 also in Harbor Island, Rock Sandy, Lutra as well. Black Point, Exuma, Camp Space, Orlando's reporting 83 degrees. Fresh Creek, Central Orlando's at 84. 82s again in Otterstone, Cat Island, San Salvador, and Rum Key, Georgetown, Exuma, 83, 85 degrees in Ragged Island, Clownstown, Long Island, Crooked Island, Betsy Bay, Magona, 86, Acklands, 86, Matchitown, Nagua, 87, and the Turks and Caicos Islands at 86 degrees. And your boating forecast tonight is brought to you by Builders Mall, home of FYP, the Tile King, and the Paint Center. In the northwest and central islands tonight, southeast to south winds 10 to 15 knots, wave heights around 2 to 4 feet over the ocean. High tide, that will occur at 10:42 tonight. For the southeast Bahamas, south to southwest winds 10 to 15 knots, and the wave heights 2 to 4 feet. Tomorrow, which is Wednesday, you can anticipate a southwesterly flow. The winds increasing 12 to 18 knots, wave heights building 3 to 6 feet, so caution flags go up for your boaters in the northwest Bahamas tomorrow. High tide, that will occur at 11:06 in the morning with a low tide at 5:09 in the afternoon. Now for the central and southeastern islands, Wednesday, light and variable winds, flat seas 1 to 3 feet over the ocean, but that will be short-lived. As we head into Thursday, in the northwestern islands, those winds continue to increase out of the south to southwest at 15 to 20 knots, wave heights building further 4 to 7 feet over the ocean, maintaining the caution flags for the northwest Bahamas. High tide on Thursday, 11:06 in the morning with a low tide at 5:09 in the afternoon. In the central and southeastern islands, southeast to south winds also increasing 12 to 18 knots, so we will post caution flags for the central and southeastern islands as well. And that's going to do it for your boating forecast. It's time now for your international temperatures, and they are brought to you by Royal Star Assurance. That's going to do it for your international temperatures, brought to you by Royal Star Assurance. But stay tuned, the extended weather forecast is still ahead.
Samantha's always on point. She doesn't miss a thing. When she signs up for any insurance policy, she reads all the fine print. She knows what's covered, what's not covered, and she's aware of her deductibles. When it comes to insurance, it pays to know your policy. Review every insurance policy so you know what you're covered for. This message was brought to you by the Insurance Commission of the Bahamas.
The 6th edition of the Bahamas Games are on the way. July 7th through the 15th. Get ready for inter-island sporting competition in the spirit of unity and camaraderie. Which island is gonna win? Our nation, our talent, our games. And look out for the B-Games crew coming to your island soon. For more information, call 809-1242 or visit thebahamasgames.org.
On May 1st, 2012, Rubis acquired the Chevron fuel business in the Bahamas, which traded under the Texaco brand. We are now celebrating our 10th anniversary of the Rubis brand in the Bahamas. Rubis has become the fuel brand of choice. However, our 10-year journey was not without challenges. We would like to recognize our dedicated members of staff and thank our customers for their continued support. We look forward to another 10-year milestone as we continue our journey.
If you've got termites and need to get rid of them fast, trust Rentokil Initial. With over 60 years experience in the Bahamas, the global brand, training, and expertise can't be beat. Only Rentokil Initial gives you a 3-year warranty and payment plan options on termite fumigation. No one can match the range of treatments we offer, such as fumigation, pre-construction treatments, termite monitoring, and more. No matter where you are in the Bahamas, we will come to you. When it comes to complete termite eradication, there's only one name, Rentokil Initial.
The atmosphere was electric as friends and families reconnected, creating cherished memories. Our young ones experienced pure joy in the dedicated Kids Cultural Zone, engaging in face painting, storytelling, and special games, bouncing castles galore and balloons for the fun of it. The Plait Lady, sharing the traditional skills of plaiting straw, was a particular hit, captivating children and adults alike. As a gesture of gratitude, the first 500 guests received commemorative independence gifts, serving as an enduring memento of this remarkable occasion. This festival exceeded all expectations, magnificently showcasing the unity and cultural richness of the Bahamas. We cannot forget the phenomenal music and art entertainment that was on display. It provided a precious opportunity for everyone to come together on our 50th anniversary of independence and embrace the vibrant spirit of our Bahamian identity.
This ZNS Toll Sports brought to you by Bahamas Striping Group of Companies, Mobile Garage Fleet Solutions, BTC, and J.S. Johnson.
Welcome to your Tuesday Sports, everyone. I'm Amajal Knowles. We're roughly 3 months away from the 2023 World Athletics Championships in Budapest. But before then, for the majority of our senior athletes to stop here at home for the B3A Senior Nationals set to take place July 5th to the 7th at the Thomas A. Robinson National Stadium. B3A's president, Trimiko Archer.
I am expecting some amazing performances. We anticipate taking one of the larger World Championships teams. I believe that this sets the stage for what we expect to assemble at the upcoming Olympic Games. And amazing. I think that the sprints will be returning back to the Bahamas. I mean, we have a cadre of sprinters that we've not seen in maybe a decade or two. And so I think that that's great for the sport.
In the same vein of World Championships, the Bahamas' contingent at this point is certainly looking formidable.
7 qualifiers for the World Championships in Budapest, Hungary. This year, World Athletics, the standards that are set by World Athletics are very stringent. So we anticipate that some athletes will qualify. They are close to the standards. But most of our athletes might qualify through the World Athletics ranking points. And we have a lot of athletes who are close to achieving high points as well. But if you look at the standards, just how 7 qualifiers so far, that's an accomplishment within itself. And we feel as if we're on target to field a very, very strong team for the World Athletics Championships come August 19th to 27th in Budapest.
Archer also clearing the air on a scheduling issue for some athletes, as the CAC Games will be taking place at the same time.
There is always the mandate for athletes to compete at our championships. We have made some exceptions to the rule, only in this instance because of the scheduling conflicts. So the CAC Games will be running concurrently with our junior and senior nationals, and so there has been an adjustment in the schedule to allow them to compete at the CAC Games and then return on the heels of our nationals to allow them to compete there as well. What is important in this dispensation of the championships is because you can amass the most points in the ranking system by competing at your nationals, and the probability of your scoring the highest amount of points because the likelihood of your winning is that much higher. It has created an incentive for our athletes to come and compete at nationals.
Anthony Strong continuing to display her consistent level of success, competing this weekend at the Racers Grand Prix in Kingston, Jamaica. In the women's 100-meter event at the National Stadium, Strong sped to her season's best of 10.99 seconds as she chased Jamaican MVP club training partner Sharika Jackson, the winner of the race, in a meet record time of 10.78 seconds. For the second straight year, she continues her training in Jamaica. Strong has run under the 11-second barrier in the 100. She joined the elite field of 5 Bahamians to do so when she clocked her lifetime best of 10.98 last year. Her performance comes on the heels of her sizzling PB in the 200 of 22.15 seconds on May 28th. Another stellar performance from a Bahamian elite athlete, this time from Bahamian hurdler Devin Charlton, who today ran a season's best time, the Continental Gold Tour meet in Poland. Charlton would finish second in a race in a time of 12.64 seconds, finishing only behind American Alicia Johnson in 12.41. And later this summer, in an effort to foster the talents of the youth in the Bain and Grantstown community, Member of Parliament Wade Watson, along with his team, set to host the second annual Bain and Grantstown Summer Games.
We are pleased that we're going to now move forward with another program that I consider to be a Bend the Tree While It's Young program, which is geared towards changing the mindsets or creating a paradigm shift in the constituency of Bains and Grantstown, especially taking into consideration the youth of our community. And this particular time, we want to use sports to advance this agenda.
The objectives of the Games are to provide an environment for physical sporting development for the youth, for the Bain and Grantstown community, to provide opportunities for the residents to showcase their skills and talent in sports, to promote sportsmanship, leadership, teamwork, and self-confidence.
Bains and Grantstown has a rich history of producing great Bahamian citizens, both men and women.
Yes.
And don't you ever let your circumstances determine your destination. Absolutely. Because this community here produce some amazing people.
Yes.
For our great country, the Bahamas. And I often say to people that I am who I am because of this community, Bain and Grantstown.
And that's when we look at your sports on this Tuesday. A check on weather when we return.
This ZNS Toll Sports brought to you by Bahamas Striping Group of Companies, Mobile Garage Fleet Solutions, BTC, and JS Johnson.
This is the super versatile Ring Stick-Up Cam. It goes indoors, outdoors, outdoors in the rain. It's got two-way talk. Hey, Eddie. Works with Alexa. Comes in tons of power options and works with Ring Alarm to start recording automatically if something's going on. Seriously? Seriously. So start protecting your home with the easy installing indoor-outdoor Stick-Up Cam by Ring.
The most important thing in life is family. And whenever you need reliable advice, you look to the people you know you can trust. At J.S. Johnson Insurance Agents and Brokers, we earn our clients' trust every day. Whether it's home, motor, travel, or commercial insurance, we've got you covered. Call 397-2100 or visit jsjohnson.com.
JS Johnson Insurance. Peace of mind.
Our road to 50 Bahamas promotion by using any service at Lighthouse Point. And you could win 5 free nights. And this summer, when you book 3 nights, starting on a Friday or Saturday, we'll throw in Sunday for free. Yes, enjoy a fabulous Sunday on the beach with your 3-day Friday or Saturday booking at Lighthouse Point. Call 242-373-1333 for reservations today. Lighthouse Point.
The baton reach. I got it. The baton reach. Come here, girl. Reach for what? Go on. Come on, man. We dropping the baton, man. Come on.
Thank you, Jesus. Another flight of stairs.
The baton ain't reached. The Bahamas Games coming July 7th to July 15th. Email info@thebahamasgames.org or call 322-1029 for more information.
Link up with BTC and call it one and done. Link up with BTC and call it one and done.
I'm Corbell Pye from the Sandlands Rehabilitation Center, and exciting news about the upcoming 12th annual push-a-thon for geriatrics. Cynthia Mother Pratt, the Deputy to the Governor General, will serve as patron of this event, and BTC is on board as the event's title sponsor.
12th year, I love the theme. Push on Bahama Land, Public Hospitals Authority, Sandlands Rehabilitation Center. putting this on for our senior community. Senior community is a part of our community, right? And we stand on their shoulders for what they have delivered for this country. And so this is integral to us as a company. This is why we exist, is to connect with communities.
All class of people, all right, they must know what Sandilands Rehabilitation Center is all about. And so with this push-a-thon, I think now it has brought an awareness. BTC is a major company in this country. I call BTC a giver. They've always been supportive of events that you're doing that is helping to build our nation.
Geriatrics, yes, can be overlooked, not only within the healthcare system itself, but also by the community and the world in general. And we recognize for older persons to stay involved with their community, we need to keep them physically active. We are so grateful for BTC's support in the way they have and their continued support, because BTC has always been with us for the 12 years. But their support has grown over the years, and we are especially thankful for that.
We know that this is our country's 50th year of independence. We're celebrating under the theme Push On Bahama Land. And so we want all people from all over our islands, to come join us for this push-a-thon. We are just so thankful to BTC for being our title sponsor, because of BTC, this event can happen with so many new wheelchairs, so many amazing resources, and then that partnership and that actual human resource, that human support means so much to us as well.
It's not too late to register to participate. The push-a-thon takes place this Saturday, June 3rd, beginning at 6:15 a.m. here at the Sandilands Rehabilitation Center campus in Hawksbill. These are still the moments that move us. I'm Corval Pifro. Be well and be back here next. BTC Connection.
Time now for weather. In our final look at weather, our satellite pictures showing lots of tropical moisture being advected towards the north and east due to an upper level trophy just to the west of us, which is drifting towards the east, and that will continue to support and increase the chance of shower activity over the next few days. Tonight, we're looking at increasing clouds with a low temperature of 78 degrees. Tomorrow, it's going to be a thick layer of cloud as a result of that trophy. Anticipate some showers and thunderstorms, which could be heavy at times, particularly as we head into Thursday. 83 degrees for your high temperature, and the extended weather forecast looking like this. Showers and thunderstorms developing tomorrow. As I said already, on Thursday, those showers and thunderstorms will become very heavy, which could lead to localized flooding in those low-lying areas. That will continue through Friday. On Saturday, the sun come out, but we'll still continue to experience 1 or 2 isolated showers and thunderstorms. And again, the clouds return on Sunday and Monday of next week, with showers and thunderstorms once developing. This is the wet season, so do carry yourself accordingly. Temperature-wise, upper 80s during the daytime, and those upper 70s will continue during the nighttime. Akishla.
Well, thanks, Basil. And that does it for the Bahamas tonight. Thank you for continuing to make ZNS your first choice for news and information. Only the sun covers the Bahamas better than ZNS. From all of us here at ZNS, thank you for watching and good night.
You're watching the ZNS Network, the People's Station.